It's Sunday, 8:30 p.m. at the Tulsa County Courthouse. The building is closed and appears to be empty. Empty except for 42-year-old Larry Teague. He's just smashed his way through the front door. As you can see by the broken glass and blood on Teague's hand. So what does this alleged intruder do now that he's inside the building? He calls the police to report a crime.
911, police, fire, medical.
Against himself.
Yeah, is this really 911? I'm down here at the courthouse.
Teague claims he broke into the court to get away from people chasing him.
I broke into the...
Hold on 1 moment. Do you need police, fire, medical?
This is a joke, ain't it? I need police, man.
How can I help you?
This can't be the police, man.
Okay, where are you at?
At the courthouse.
Okay.
Across from the library.
And what's your name?
Larry Teague, man. Larry Sean Teague.
Okay. And what's going on exactly there? Hello? Larry?
The dispatcher sends a few officers down to the courthouse to assess the situation. When they arrive,
hey, watch these cars. How we gonna clear this frickin' building? We might want to start some help. Cover.
There he is. He's on the bench. He's just sitting there.
the only person they find is Teague. Officers notice the wound on Teague's hand and attempt to calm him down.
Relax. Relax.
But Teague doesn't seem to trust the officers.
No, I'm not gonna do this, dude. Y'all taking me somewhere.
Go down to your knees.
That's what y'all want, ain't it? Hey, brother. Okay, hey, just go 63. No, dude, y'all trying to get me in a police car, dude. So y'all can take me somewhere.
Hey, we're gonna help you.
I'm not stupid, man.
So you need to listen to what we say.
After several failed attempts,
Hey, turn around.
No, dude.
the officers are finally losing patience.
Turn around.
Taser.
Last chance.
Turn around.
It seems negotiating is no longer an option, as the officer gives Teague one last chance to comply.
Taser.
Last chance.
Turn around.
Teague is tased and immediately hits the ground. He's taken to the station and charged with second-degree burglary, malicious injury to property, and resisting arrest. He was held in lieu of a $10,000 bond.
All right, let's take him outside. All right.
Roll on your stomach.
Roll over.
But ultimately, the state failed to file charges, which essentially means the charges were dropped. We're in Tuscola County in Michigan for a sentencing hearing. 38-year-old Thomas Schmatzer has been convicted of 2 counts of third-degree fleeing a police officer, 2 counts of assaulting, resisting, or obstructing a police officer, and operating a vehicle while intoxicated. Today, he's in front of Judge Amy Grace Gearhart. She's just sentenced Schmatzer to 6 to 20 years in prison for his crimes. The hearing's wrapping up, and Tuscola Sheriff's Office Sergeant Nate Licht escorts Schmatzer out of the courtroom as Judge Gearhart leaves the bench. Schmatzer's hands are cuffed and attached to a chain around his waist. Prosecuting attorney Mark Reen and Department of Corrections agent Jeremiah Hulbert are at the prosecution table. As Schmatzer passes, he stops to make one last comment. According to arrest records, Schmatzer curses at prosecutor Reen and angrily knocks down the plexiglass divider between Reen and Hulbert. A struggle ensues. Bailiff Rodney Birch rushes in to assist as Licht gets Schmatzer in a headlock. Birch grabs Schmatzer's left arm, and the 2 officers attempt to subdue the defendant. Corrections agent Hulbert tries to grab a leg, but Schmatzer kicks at him. The defendant continues to resist as bystanders look on. Licht takes Schmatzer to the floor to subdue him, as more officers run into the room to assist. Eventually, a pair of leg cuffs are brought in and they make another attempt to move Schmatzer. But again, he resists, this time making hacking noises as if he's getting ready to spit. Finally, after 6.5 minutes and the efforts of 12 law enforcement officers, Schmatzer is picked up and forcibly removed from the courtroom. In the hallway, he's placed in a restraint chair for his trip to the county jail. It's expected that additional charges will be filed against Schmatzer for the courtroom scuffle. He's currently incarcerated. The incident, along with others earlier that year, moved Judge Gearhart to request more funding for security in the courthouse. Next, we're in Chelsea, Massachusetts for an arraignment hearing. The defendant in the holding cell is 46-year-old Peter DeConnick. He's been charged with first-degree murder for allegedly stabbing his friend Ronald Russo to death. Investigators say the friends were partying inside this trailer home when a verbal argument escalated into a violent knife fight. Police found Russo on the floor clutching a knife, while a bloodied DeConnick was arrested at a nearby train station. Now at the podium, the prosecutor shares a grisly detail about the murder.
Further investigation, the autopsy report revealed that Mr. Russo did suffer 69 knife wounds to his body.
The mention of the number of stab wounds appears to enrage the victim's brother, who charges towards the defendant.
Did suffer 69 knife wounds to his body.
It takes 1, 2, 3, 4 deputies to remove Thomas Russo from the courtroom. Russo's arrested following the outburst and is charged with disturbing the courtroom and resisting arrest. He's later released on a personal reconnaissance bond after telling the judge that he needed to make funeral arrangements for his slain brother. As for the defendant, Peter DeConnick, he's later found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison.
Just give me time for all of it right now. I just need a little time. You're going to help me look better anyway. So.
We're in Broward County, Florida, for the arraignment of 32-year-old Bradley Quimbley on a petty theft charge. 2 days earlier, Quimbley was arrested at a local department store for walking out with a television that wasn't paid for and threatening a store employee who tried to stop him. Today, he's appearing before Judge Jackie Powell.
Mr. Bradley Quimbley on page 11.
Yes, he's here, present, Judge.
So, Mr. Quimbley, you're before the court today for 1 count of petty theft, and the court does find probable cause. Does the parties wish to be heard as to bond?
My name's being Mr. Quimbley. I believe he wishes to resolve this case today.
Yes, I do, miss.
All right, State, do you have an offer for Mr. Quimbley?
State's offer would be 10 days. I would note the TV he stole was 1 penny under the grand theft amount.
Judge, and speaking of Mr. Quimbley, right now he is working. He works for a moving company. He doesn't want to risk losing that job. It costs him a lot to get that job, Judge.
I need it, miss. You know what I mean? I need my job. You know?
Mr. Quimbley, please stop talking and allow your attorney to speak, okay?
I'm going to ask the court to consider releasing Mr. Quimbley on time served.
I would note there's allegations that he threatened to physically harm the employees at work.
It's a simple case, and everyone agrees on a deal for 5 days in jail with 4 days credit for time served.
All right, Mr. Quimbley, please raise your right hand.
That is, until someone checks Quimbley's other court records and informs Judge Powell.
All right, I've just been advised that Mr. Quimbley is on pretrial supervision. So, on what case?
On January 29th. It was 1 count of assault.
Judge Powell discovers that Quimbley's on release pending trial for another incident. 1 month earlier, while at a supermarket, Quimbley took 2 items from store shelves that he immediately then tried to return. The incident also included threats.
I think the court should be aware that that case also involves allegations of fraud at a where he again became irate and began to verbally threaten to cause physical harm to the employees.
These additional charges, along with his history of threats, make Judge Powell rethink Quimbley's plea deal. Perhaps sensing things slipping away, the defendant makes a last-ditch effort to settle both cases today.
Whoa, what is this? Just give me time for all of it right now. Just give me time for all that so I can just go ahead and just settle that. It don't matter if it's 10 days, 20 days, 30 days, 60 days. Just let me settle that. All of it right now. So I don't have to be worrying about this and that.
All right.
I need a little time. You're going to help me look better anyway. So.
All right, well, we're gonna have Mr. Quimbley take a seat a little bit, and I will recall the case.
Yes, Judge. All right, pretty lady.
Quimbley gets away with calling the judge pretty lady, but when she recalls his case later that day, she's not giving him anything to joke about.
I'm revoking his pretrial, so counts 1, 2, 3, I'll impose a bond of $500, and I'll ROR him on 4. That's on the pretrial supervision, and then on the new charge, the bond is $100. I'll leave that in place.
Judge Powell decides to revoke his pretrial supervision and impose cash bonds totaling $1,600. Earlier today, Quimbley was flippantly asking for jail time.
Need a little time. You're going to help me look better anyway.
And now, unless he can come up with the bond money, that's exactly what he's getting. Quimbley's mic has been turned off, but he's clearly fired up. Quimbley lashes out, slamming his hands on the podium, then knocking it over. Because his microphone is switched off, the judge doesn't hear him swearing and threatening to kill her. But the sheriff's deputies wrestling with him hear it all. Quimbley racks up even more charges, this time felonies, resisting arrest and threatening a public servant. Judge Powell barely registers his outburst and moves on to her next case.
Is the podium up or down?
Because of his courtroom outburst and threats against Judge Powell, Quimbley's bond was raised from $1,600 to $6,000, and he remained in jail until his hearing 8 months later. There, he pled no contest to the felony charges and was given 364 days in jail and credit for time served. Months earlier, Quimbley also pled no contest to the charges related to both store incidents. He was sentenced to 3 months probation and ordered to attend a shoplifters program. He has since completed his sentence. Next, we're in Manatee County, Florida, for the sentencing of Anthony Kidd. The 23-year-old was arrested on a felony animal cruelty charge after his girlfriend reported he had injured her dog, Prince. 8 months earlier, the couple's son had accidentally eaten some dog feces in the backyard, causing Kidd to get angry and allegedly hit the pet. Kidd pleaded no contest and is awaiting his fate from Judge Hunter Carroll. But when the judge sentences him to 364 days in jail, Kidd desperately begs for mercy. He reminds the judge that he has cancer and says he needs to be with his kids. Judge Carroll listens, but ultimately sticks to his decision. Tensions are high, and as deputies approach, Kidd attempts to make a break for it. But doesn't get very far. With little room to run, he climbs on top of a bench as deputies surround him. The officers then tell Judge Carroll to leave the courtroom, as the situation becomes potentially more dangerous. With tasers drawn and pointed at his stomach, Kid shouts, "Do it. You're gonna have to kill me." But as they continue talking, tensions eventually die down. Deputies then inch closer and make their move. But Kid manages to evade them once again, though only making it across the courtroom before 8 officers take him to the ground. But he's not done fighting. And it takes almost 4 minutes to finally subdue and carry him out of the courtroom and into custody. Kid's charged with resisting arrest and sentenced to 11 months and 29 days to be served concurrently with the original sentence of 364 days for animal cruelty. He was also ordered to pay a $2,500 fine, submit to anger management treatment, and have no possession, care, or custody of domestic animals. Next, we're in Williamsburg, Kentucky for a bond revocation hearing. The defendant walking up to the podium is 42-year-old Shannon Fox Hamblin. Today, she's in court for allegedly violating conditions of her probation. Once at the microphone, she lets Judge Paul Winchester know she's being represented by a well-known name, maybe best known for his pro bono work.
And who's representing you today?
I'm represented by Jesus Christ.
That's right. Now, a savior he may be, but one thing he is not is a licensed member of the Kentucky State Bar. So the judge offers up the services of the public defender's office instead.
All right, so I'm going to appoint Mr. Findale
No,
to represent
I
you
don't want
today.
Mr. Findale. I have that right, Your Honor, and Jesus is going to represent me. I do not want legal counsel.
Okay, all right, so what do you want to say?
I want to say that I have lived hard, loved hard, played hard, but I've been saved and applied the blood. I'm pardoned through Jesus Christ, okay? I have stumbled and I have failed many times, and mercy's rained from that bench. Not because I deserved it, but because I'm sure somebody prayed. Okay, I wanted to taste salvation and play over here too. I was riding the fence between me and you. God gave me a choice, and it's life or death, I kid you not. Do I look like the person that stood before you in August? Do I? I'm humble. I'm in a walk of shame.
But alas, Judge Winchester has had enough of the courtroom sermon.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Allegation is you failed to report to probation and parole.
Okay, sir. I have nothing in this world.
All I need is an answer.
No.
Did you go? Okay.
I went to probation, yes, I did. But the next 2 times I didn't have no right.
In addition to not reporting to her probation officer as scheduled, Fox Hamblin has another violation.
On December the 9th, 2016, you were given a drug test and you were positive for methamphetamine, and that was confirmed by a lab.
Saved by the blood.
Okay, yes or no? Do you acknowledge that?
I acknowledge I'm saved by the blood.
Saved by the blood or exposed by the blood test?
I don't use drugs, Your Honor. I do not use it.
You've already told me that, but back on December of 2016.
His paper says so, but I will not admit it. He said I could...
Are you denying the allegations in this motion?
Yes.
Fox Hamblin's probation officer is then called on to offer testimony.
Back in December, did she test positive for drug use? She didn't.
He's not telling the whole truth, Your Honor.
Okay.
You expect me to, he needs to too.
All right, let me tell you something now. You can ask him a question.
Okay, have I
Can't
not
preach
been
to
in
him.
contact? When you called me and said the drug test came back methamphetamine, tell the truth, Shannon. What did I say?
I did not call you.
Brian Diggs, you are a liar in the court of Williamsburg. I promise you, Jesus is watching.
Okay, let me tell you something. I have to go by what the test
He
says.
is lying,
And
sir.
The
His
test says.
test wasn't right.
What I'm telling you is, I have to go by what the lab says.
Can I make
Doesn't
one
have anything to
mistake?
do with what he said.
Between me and you,
Okay.
prison is to reform me, right? To make me a good person for
Well,
society.
that
Is that
and to
correct?
keep you from breaking the law.
Okay. Well, do you believe that the blood applied by Jesus Christ can do more reform for me than Pee Wee Valley? Do you believe it can happen in 1 day, 1 minute, or 1 hour?
Well-
Sir, I'm sentenced to death. I'm going to die.
But as the defendant continues to argue, the judge asks the bailiff to escort her out and revokes her bond.
Mr. Engel, can you take her for me, please? Motion is sustained.
Sir, I have the right to speak, okay?
And you have the right to speak.
I'm going to speak, please. No, I'm going to speak to this judge. No, I'm going to speak to you right now. My life is at stake. I'll die in prison.
Come on, yeah.
I have the right to. I won't go. You'll shoot me.
As it becomes more apparent that she is not going quietly,
Listen, you stand low and have no, I won't go, sir. No, I won't go.
another court official enters to help remove her.
No, I won't go. You understand? No. Mr. Winchester, I won't go. No. I won't go. You understand? Don't shoot me before I go. I won't go.
You need to go. You don't
No, I'm not.
that to you, okay?
You understand? I won't.
You need to go.
You see truth and you're denying it. No! Mr. Winchester, please! I want my family back. I've changed! No, they take me to Jesus like he's in a hiding little house. I want. No.
As the struggle spills into the hallway, Fox Hamblin continues to resist, reportedly kicking one of the bailiffs and causing an injury to his hand. On top of having her bond revoked, Shannon Fox Hamblin was charged with contempt of court, second-degree assault, resisting arrest, and second-degree disorderly conduct. She was sentenced to 8 years in a Kentucky prison. We take you now to the Warren County Municipal Courthouse in Warren, Ohio, where some routine court business quickly spirals out of control. Kayla Raymond was recently charged with operating her vehicle without a license. Today, she's here for a bond hearing, but admits to the court she's high on drugs. Her bond's revoked and she's ordered to Trumbull County Jail. And that's when the trouble really starts. After the hearing, the bailiffs try to escort Kayla away, but she resists. And things quickly escalate. The 30-year-old puts up a fight. It appears Raymond might actually escape as she sends one of the officers to the floor. But he's quickly back up and the struggle continues. Despite the outrageous scene taking place, spectators notice the scuffle and either continue to go about their business or stand by and watch the scene play out. Keep in mind, Raymond was in court just on a no operator's license charge for not having her license on her while driving. As the officer tries to apply handcuffs, Raymond makes a desperate move. According to the police report, she bit both officers during the struggle. The incident continues before a third officer joins the scene and brings it to an end. Raymond is finally cuffed and carried out of the courthouse. Now Raymond's looking at additional charges of assault and resisting arrest.
Problem is, you don't want to play by anybody's rules. You want to play by your own rules.
Next, we go to Berea, Ohio for a probation hearing. The defendant's 18-year-old William Demopoulos. He's on probation for criminal damaging, unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, and obstructing official business. Things have not started off well, as Judge Chris Green is annoyed with Demopoulos for refusing to hand over his cell phone to a probation officer.
Give me that phone. What's in that phone you don't want us to find?
Nothing. I just didn't see no need for you guys to confiscate my phone and go through it. I mean...
And you play by your rules. You don't want to play by anybody else's rules.
When the judge hands the phone to a clerk, the defendant starts to retreat.
Come here. Hey. Come here.
No, man. No, man. This is not right, man. I'm telling you, it's not right. This system is so messed up.
Stand there. If you're going to act up, give me an officer. Give me an officer.
Please, please.
No.
It doesn't have to be
I'm right now thinking about charging you with resistance.
Please, it doesn't have to be like this, John.
Stand there and stand like a man.
I can't do it. I'm sorry, I can't do it.
Then you're going to go to jail today.
Sounds like this teen is willing to give up his freedom for a phone.
What did we talk about with regard to following the rules?
To follow them.
And they told you to give him the phone?
I don't know why.
The judge breaks it down for Demopoulos.
When you are on probation, your probation officer has a right to take anything they want to take of yours. If they want to search your phone, they search your phone. The problem is, you don't want to play by anybody's rules. You want to play by your own rules.
It's not like that, Your Honor.
Getting nowhere, the defendant changes his story.
It's not my cell phone.
Whose cell phone is it?
It's my brother's.
Then why didn't you tell them that? I need him handcuffed, please.
Even with deputies closing in, Demopoulos doesn't seem interested in cooperating. As quickly as Demopoulos hops over the table, the deputies tackle him to the floor.
You're gonna get tased. Stop resisting. Where you on mercy kill, man? Don't think when you so up, man, for real. Please God, man.
That's the defendant's grandfather looking on.
Why don't you get to happen, man? But why though, man? Why does it have to be like this? We can really get
It's like this because you make it like this. My problem is I can't have someone on probation if they won't listen to their probation officer.
He has a problem. I know he has a problem.
Man, he's kind of like a little captive, ain't he?
Yeah, he's drunk.
He's very athletic.
Yeah.
The judge revokes the defendant's probation, and he's charged with resisting arrest. He's sent to jail for 40 days. Next, we're at Benton County Justice Center in Washington State, where a judge has found Gerald Hyde II guilty of methamphetamine possession. With the arraignment now over, he's being taken back to jail. Or is he? The defendant has slipped away from security and re-entered the courtroom. He strips off his prison-issue shirt and uses it to hide his handcuffs. He makes it to the hallway, and after a quick look around, he takes off. Along the way, he ditches the distinctive orange prison-issue shoes and continues barefoot through the courthouse. Quickly makes his way to the lobby until he exits straight through the front doors and out onto the street. All before anyone seemingly even noticed he was missing. But within 2 hours, police catch up with him hiding at a friend's house. He's immediately taken back into custody. Next, we head to Jefferson County Circuit Court in Louisville, Kentucky.
We are on the record, Commonwealth versus Rayton Woodford.
Allegation, which it is quite serious.
This is 29-year-old Rayton Woodford. He's in the courtroom today for a probation revocation hearing. He'd previously been sentenced to probation for drugs and weapons charges, but violated the terms.
Discovery.
Sitting a few feet away is Woodford's girlfriend.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be truthful?
During Woodford's hearing, a detective provides testimony.
That evening, he was charged with a handgun and narcotics.
And if you know, was Mr. Woodford at the time a convicted felon?
Yes, he was.
Once the testimony concludes, the camera, controlled by Judge Barry Willett, remains locked on the empty witness chair as the judge announces his decision.
Probation revoked in its entirety. Mr. Woodford, I'm going to send you to serve 5 years. Good luck to you.
Please, no.
No, ma'am.
That flash across the screen was Woodford making a run for it.
Lock the door back there.
Woodford's girlfriend can be heard pleading with her boyfriend to stop.
Go with me, please.
The record will reflect that Mr. Woodford made an unsuccessful effort to escape.
Woodford is stopped by deputies. He's brought back into the courtroom now and taken into custody.
Do not walk
Woodford's girlfriend's upset about her treatment by deputies as she was caught up in the tussle to stop Woodford from escaping.
No, he pulled my hair for no reason. I get off of me. Get off of me. He pulled my hair.
Well, that's a first in 19 years on the bench. She did tackle him on the way out. Are you okay?
A short while later, Woodford's girlfriend requests permission to address the judge about what happened to her.
We're back on the record in the Woodford case, and Mr. Woodford's girlfriend would like to talk to the court.
I didn't do anything. I tried to stop him.
I noticed that.
There's no reason for him to put his hands on me.
Woodford's girlfriend's pointing to a sheriff's deputy who helped prevent Woodford's escape, and in doing so, allegedly had to pull her out of the fray.
He did not. I didn't pose any kind of threat to anybody in here. When he jumped that, I tried to stop him.
What I saw was that Mr. Woodford made an unsuccessful attempt to escape the courtroom, and he was apprehended by law enforcement.
But I understand that. I tried to stop that, but there's no reason for that man to have to pull my hair or push me.
Okay.
But you condone that, right?
I'm not condoning any. No, wait a minute. Come back up here right now.
Okay.
Don't you tell me I'm condoning anything. I just told you what I observed. You made an effort to stop him from leaving. I appreciate that. But in the thick of it, when your boyfriend is fighting with deputies, people might get pushed out of the way. Maybe it was for your own safety. He was going to hurt somebody. So don't tell me I'm condoning anything. I did not say that. Anything else you'd like to say to me?
No, sir.
Thank you.
She leaves the courtroom and is not charged. Rayton Woodford begins serving a 5-year sentence in a Kentucky prison. He now faces an additional charge of second-degree escape. We head to Las Vegas, Nevada, for the arraignment of 25-year-old Alonzo Perez. He's charged in the murder of Muhammad Robinson. The crime occurred when Perez and a woman stopped at a North Vegas fast food restaurant. After someone failed to hold the door open, words were exchanged, and then Perez allegedly shot the victim dead. The FBI apprehended Perez and handed him over to the North Vegas police for questioning. At 11:57 a.m., Perez is left alone in the interrogation room, handcuffed to a metal bar on the table. Police are supposed to monitor the suspect through a small video camera. As he waits, Perez looks around the room, and it seems the wheels are turning. After nearly 10 minutes, it's clear Perez isn't interested in sticking around. He begins leaning into the cuffs in an effort to snap the steel bracelets. Not likely, right? But somehow, using his own body weight of 200 pounds, he breaks free. Now he must decide his next move. Instead of making a run for it, he remains calm. Watch now, he places his hands as if to disguise the broken cuffs. He even rests his head on the table, perhaps to keep the broken cuffs hidden from the police watching the room. After a few minutes of carefully surveying the space, he knows exactly what he wants to do. Using a step, he pulls himself up to the ceiling and breaks through. Just like that, he's gone, leaving nothing behind but a water bottle, some busted up ceiling insulation, and a soon-to-be embarrassed police unit. Perez makes it to the street, where he then steals a pickup truck, and the murder suspect drives off into the night. It will be another 40 minutes before police even realize Perez is gone. A manhunt begins, as the North Vegas police must admit they failed to properly monitor the suspect. It takes 5 days before authorities finally capture Perez without incident. When they do, police charge him with 2 other previous murders and a separate motel shooting nearly 2 months before his escape. Perez is facing multiple felonies, including murder, felony escape, and grand larceny. If convicted, Perez could be sentenced to death. Dayton, Ohio, where a camera keeps watch of a female holding area inside the Montgomery County Jail. Most inmates are here awaiting their first court appearance, including Jessica Boomershine. The 42-year-old was charged with multiple violent crimes, including kidnapping, felonious assault, and aggravated robbery, after she and another person allegedly assaulted and robbed an elderly man inside his home. At first, it looks like Boomershine might be napping with her head resting against the screen of a video monitor. But seconds later, she appears to be up to something. As she stands on an attached stool, the other inmates barely pay her any attention. But after she slides a chair over and climbs on top of the video monitor, she catches the attention of these two inmates, who are completely confused. Then it appears the inmates realize what's going on. Boomershine is trying to skip her court appearance by escaping through the ceiling. The Mission Impossible style escape gets the inmate in this holding cell very excited, though it's unclear whether she's trying to get the guards' attention or is actually cheering on the jailbreak. Either way, the commotion brings officers into the holding area just in time. Ceiling tiles begin raining down from above. Another security camera pans to the right, catching an even better view of Boomershine hanging from a ceiling vent. And below, an officer's attempt at trying to grab her legs makes the situation even more awkward. Boomershine really doesn't want to go to court today, but ultimately the ceiling gives way. She crashes headfirst into a trash can below. Once on the ground, officers place her in handcuffs before she's checked out by medical personnel. Boomershine sustained only minor injuries from the fall, and though her botched getaway allowed her to skip a court appearance that day, escape and vandalism charges were added to her case for when she eventually appeared before a judge. Thanks for being a fan of Court Cam. Subscribe to A&E to never miss a new video and catch full episodes on aetv.com.